You made a commitment to yourself to quit alcohol, but now you relapsed and you feel like a failure.
Don't!
Been there, done that. And speaking of failure, it took Thomas Edison 10,000 attempts to perfect the light bulb.
Oh yes.
Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first job.
Huh?
What do they have in common? They failed, just like you and I did. But they also learned from failure, just like you will. In this video, I share the 3 biggest lessons from alcohol relapses so you can take advantage of them and say adios to alcohol once and for all. Hola, hola! Welcome to another episode of Not Get Sober, where sobriety is a happy place. You relapsed. You had a drink or a lot when you said you were quitting for good or were in the middle of a 30-day alcohol-free challenge. Whatever it is, right now, you might feel hopeless and that getting better is impossible for you. Long story short, you feel like a failure, just like I did when I relapsed many times. So let's talk about failing then. Failure is defined as the lack of success or the inability to meet an expectation. But what if we look at failure through different lenses? Here's a better and way more interesting definition. Failure is a prerequisite for success. Very nice, huh? Way more exciting. But there is a catch. Failure only works to your advantage if you learn from it. In this case, relapses can work to your advantage if you learn from them. So, here's the big question. What do you learn from getting drunk after you swore you weren't going to do it again? Well, 3 very important things. The first one is humility. Our egos are sensitive. They can grow and evolve into beasts of their own. And most of the time, a dose of failure is good to keep us humble. Relapses are the universe's way of reminding us that we still need to keep working towards our sober goals. In my case, when I first tried to quit alcohol, for some reason, I refused to stop seeing certain group of people because I thought we were friends and didn't really notice that I've never really had a conversation with them without a glass of wine in my hand. I thought it would be okay to see them if I just told them that I wasn't drinking. But in the end, relapses made me understand that I couldn't say no to the phrase, "Don't make such a big deal. 1 glass is fine." You know how that story ends. The thing is, relapses gave me the perfect opportunity for me to identify some triggers and also help me discern real friends from toxic ones. The second thing we learn from a relapse is flexibility. Yeah, this is me being flexible. Even the best laid plans are disrupted. You might have set a goal only to realize that you've overestimated the scope. Relapses teach us that we're not complete failures. We just need to be flexible and adjust our goals. For instance, when I wanted to quit alcohol, I went ahead and said I was never gonna drink again. And failed miserably. Many times. I took a deep, hard look into what I was doing and decided to adjust my plan. This time, instead of quitting cold turkey, I started by cutting down my drinks first, and then try a 30-day challenge. Those 30 days turn into 60, and then 90, and the rest is history. The third thing we learned from our relapse is resilience. Edison didn't land the light bulb on the first, second, or even 1,000th try. It took him 10,000 tries to perfect the light bulb. In my case, I was tired of waking up with hangovers and waste half of my weekends resting and then feeling miserable on Mondays when I got back to work, where I would do the bare minimum just to get by and be free on the weekends, where I would go out and drink half of the time and feel shitty the other half, and then feeling miserable on Mondays when I got back to work, where I would do the bare minimum just to get by, be free weekends, and I was so done with that misery cycle I called life. And I knew that the first thing I needed to do was getting rid of the one substance that was the common denominator in most of the worst moments of my life. Alcohol. I failed. I relapsed. I fell so many times. Oh my God, so many times. But eventually, I learned from these failures. To be honest, it was hard and somewhat embarrassing to put myself together one more time and say, okay, this time it will happen. This time I'm finally getting sober. God damn it. Yeah, I repeated that cycle 12 times until one day resilience paid off and now I'm sober. And I know you can get sober too. Just keep moving forward. So if you relapse and feel like you're back to square one, just accept it, feel whatever you need to feel, and get back on your feet. Remember that failure is a prerequisite for success. Say goodbye to shame and guilt because you're a brave person that's doing something extraordinary that not everyone dares to do. Quitting alcohol. You're going through a process, a hard process, and face challenges. That's it. So go easy on yourself. Treat yourself nicely. You deserve it, boo. Ask yourself this. When you go to the doctor, do you ask them how many times they failed their exams in medical school, or do you trust them? When you see your favorite athlete score, do you wonder how many times they failed a shot in the past, or do you celebrate their amazing performance? When you meet a sober person, do you ask them how many times they relapse, or do you congratulate them? Exactly. Thank you for watching. I am grateful to be able to share my stories with you, and I know that together we can make a difference. The sobriety journey is easier when we support each other, so feel free to share your journey in the comments below. Your story might inspire others. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so this video can reach more people looking to break up with alcohol. Speaking of breaking up with alcohol, it is well known that it is not an easy process and it can be confusing, so make sure to watch this video to navigate the grief process smoothly and become single and ready to mingle with a new version of yourself.